In April, the New Orleans Police Department's Director of Communications asked me to stop referring to interstate shooters as serial snipers, and I complied. Then I got to thinking about it. Truth in journalism is something we desperately need today. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines serial as performing a series of similar acts over time. The word snipe is defined as to shoot at exposed individuals from a concealed point of vantage. In other words, repeat offenders don't have to fire high-powered rifles from atop high-rise hotels to be called snipers. 2 weeks ago, on a Wednesday morning, a commuter from New Orleans East pulled his work van onto I-10 headed westbound. Between the exits of Reed and Crowder Boulevards, 2 pickup trucks without license plates blocked the lanes in front of the man and then decelerated. One of the 2 eased into the left lane and slowed more, dropping beside the work van, while his Confederate in the truck in front of the commuter reduced speed to 10 miles an hour. The commuter looked at the driver beside him as if to ask, "What's going on?" Then, without answering, the driver, a man the commuter in the work van did not know, raised a handgun and opened fire. One shot ripped through the driver's side door, piercing this COVID mask he had hanging on the steering wheel. The commuter pressed his head back against the seat, and a second shot burst the window and peppered his left hand with shattered glass. When a third shot missed his face, the commuter pumped his brakes and ducked behind the dashboard. He grabbed his gun from the glove box, but when he raised back up, the assailants were gone. Friday evening, June 18th, around 9, a woman driving the West Bank Expressway found herself in a barrage of gunfire. Wounded, she drove herself to the hospital. Last week, Wednesday evening, a woman driving eastbound on I-10 suffered a similar attack. Just after 6, 2 miles from Reed Boulevard near the Bullard Avenue exit, a round shattered her driver's side window. A later round punctured her door and pierced her left leg, sending her to the hospital. 5 weeks earlier, on May 10th, another I-10 attack near the same exit sent another woman to the same hospital. Mississippi resident Gage Bennett drove the car behind that woman. All of a sudden, fireworks started to go off, he told WVUE-TV. "I saw the road get it, concrete, stuff like that shooting up. Finally, I put 2 and 2 together and realized we just got shot at," he said. 4 hours after Wednesday's attack, another motorist landed in the emergency room after an anonymous shooter blasted his car with gunfire on I-10. This is I-10 West near Franklin Avenue. The following day, a New Orleans Police Department representative told a WWL TV reporter that in the first 6 months of this year, NOPD investigated 12 interstate shootings, but only 3 caused fatalities. In January, District Attorney Jason Williams told the New Orleans City Council that New Orleans interstate highways hosted 30 shootings in 2021. 3 victims, he said, died in those 12 months, suggesting that the death toll this year has actually doubled. New Orleans police responded to 24 interstate shootings in 2020, bringing the number of random attacks in 30 months to 84, and the number of sniper deaths to 8 people. Now facing an average of 3 attacks per month, law enforcement must develop a plan to abate interstate shootings. To do so, they must first determine what forces they are fighting by proving whether or not these shootings are related. According to August Palumbo, a former New Orleans police detective and a retired special agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, he said, if the shootings were unrelated, basic patrols and the visibility of stopping and citing traffic violators, Police Work 101, would slow down these shootings. A concentrated effort, he said, would over time, over a sustained period of months, would eliminate the problem. Now, Palumbo makes a valid point here. Remember, Louisiana has seen similar attacks before. These events are eerily reminiscent of the infamous Beltway sniper attacks of 2002. The FBI didn't want to believe those were connected either. That year, John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo shot 10 people on interstate highways between Washington, D.C. and Tangipahoa Parish here in Louisiana, where they left an Albany man for dead in the Hammond Square Mall parking lot. In 2014, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's deputies averted something similar in the New Orleans area. Deputies pulled over what investigators called a sniper van, complete with a loaded rifle, scope, and silencer beneath chairs mounted to the back floorboard of the vehicle facing sliding glass windows. Retired officer and NOPD historian Gene Fields, author of Cops and Characters in the Big Easy, suggested some random freeway attacks could be gang-related, something like a gang initiation or a hazing. If so, he said, the department's resources are spread too thin for these kinds of juvenile games. Last September, an off-duty officer in an unmarked car was among the I-10 sniper victims. The policeman survived, but he never saw the gunman who shot him in the head. August Palumbo told me NOPD doesn't patrol the interstates. The motorcycle division, he said, did years ago, but they serve only as escorts now. Before he retired, the United States Treasury Department awarded August Palumbo the Medal of Merit, along with multiple commendations for bravery and service. He also received the ATF Distinguished Firearms Expert Award. Today, he's a consultant to the National Association of Federal Agents. He said to me, NOPD has eliminated or decimated their key specialty units. Things like traffic, vice, narcotics, intelligence, auto theft. Palumbo said those are gone. The only specialized detective unit left is homicide. The robbery and burglary divisions, for example, they no longer exist. Detectives spend their time writing reports with minimal time left for follow-up. New Orleans, he said, was ahead of the curve in defunding the police. Death by 1,000 budget cuts. Last week, City Council President Helena Marino, who also serves on the Criminal Justice Committee, told reporters she would like to see state law enforcement agencies patrolling interstate highways inside the city limits. With the shootings on the interstate and the time officers spend dealing with wrecks and disabled vehicles, she said, it doesn't make sense for them not to help. Even if it's just DPS showing up to respond to disabled vehicles or accidents, things like that, she said. NOPD Chief Sean Ferguson told Marino requests for help from the head of state police have been futile, saying state police did not have enough people to help. Likewise, the New Orleans Police Department has little capacity to solve the problem. Presently, the department has fewer than 1,000 officers, with most patrol personnel working 12-hour shifts. Statistics from the Metropolitan Crime Commission, that's a government watchdog group, they confirm NOPD is beyond overloaded. There were 224 total shootings within city limits in the last 6 months. That number is 98% more than in 2019. And then they had more officers on the force. There have been 140 homicides this year, 150% more than in 2019, and 51% more than in 2021. This week, police investigated 3 homicides in New Orleans East, all in the same neighborhood. NOPD is also investigating 147 carjackings and 247 robberies this year. Serial shooters are the bailiwick of the Louisiana State Police. But I-10, like all thoroughfares in the American interstate highway system, is a federal highway. It's sustained by the Department of Transportation and Development. If neither NOPD nor the Louisiana State Police had the workforce to protect motorists on I-10, it may be time New Orleans sought help from the Justice Department or the National Guard. To keep up with this story and other mysteries in South Louisiana, like and subscribe to Bayou Justice. I'm H.L. Arledge, and I'll see you next week.